Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. In sport, fairness is everything. You wouldn't, for example, put a wheelchair-bound athlete in a race against an able-bodied athlete. You wouldn't put a flyweight in the ring with a heavyweight. These things are unfair and in some cases dangerous. Just last week, we saw an American basketball team got banned from playing because they refused to compete against a team that fielded a trans player, a man who stood head and shoulders above all the women and would have had that musculature and strength. It would have been unfair. They felt so they refused to play. Now they have been banned. That cannot possibly be fair. And now we have another example, this time in Massachusetts, where a high school is slammed because they fielded a man in the women's athletic team. And the other teams are saying that it's just, it's just unfair and it shouldn't be allowed. We'll have a look at this story to see why so many teams are allowing men to compete against women, which is quite blatantly wrong. Here goes. So this is simply cheating. Massachusetts High School is slammed after winning the girls' state track and field championship with a trans athlete who once told haters just deal with it. Chloe Barnes helped Brooklyn High School to a Massachusetts indoor track title. Chloe Barnes is not his real name. Barnes began competing with girls this year after previously racing boys and presumably being not very good at it. He had previously told his critics to deal with it, just deal with it. Now, if you are putting men into a field of sport against women, it is blatantly unfair. And there is no way that this should be allowed. And every woman who is facing him on a field of sport needs to stop, walk away and just say, no, you win, well done. And just walk away. And let him have his victory. Let him have his empty, hollow victory. And if it happens once or twice, that's fine. Imagine it happening for the 43rd time. And every time it happens, the authorities are banning that team from competing. Very soon, there'll be no teams competing. And that'll be the end of women's athletics. And it might as well be, because in America it is possible to get a scholarship to go to university based on, say, athletic prowess, if you happen to be a very good runner, for example. And so if you get placed, and you're deemed to be a top type of runner, a lot of potential in athletics and that, you can get these scholarships. You can go to university and it can set you up for life, given how expensive scholarships or schooling is in America. And that was one of the ways that girls could go and get a reasonably priced education by being particularly good at, say, the 100 metres. But what hope have girls got if now every woman's scholarship, every scholarship for females will be going to a man? How are women going to get these life chances? How are women going to compete in a fair field of sport? But how are they going to get the scholarships if they're all going to go to men because the men are outperforming them? It is clearly wrong. Not just unfair, but immoral and unethical. Anyway, we're going to look into this. I'm not going to go into this story a great deal. My main concern is what is actually happening in the sport itself. But we'll just go a quick breeze over the story. A Massachusetts high school has been criticised for allowing a transgender girl, let's call him what he is, a boy, athlete, to help win the track and field championships last month amid the heated debate over trans athletes in sport. Chloe Barnes helped Brooklyn High School to the State's Interscholastic Athletics Association Division 1 Indoor Track and Field Championships over 3 other schools after competing in the girls' 55 metres hurdle. His 4th place finish in the race behind a Brooklyn teammate helped his school get the necessary points to win the title. Barnes, a junior who started competing in girls' competitions this academic year after being really shit against boys, presumably, had previously helped them win a 4x200 metre relay race in January. So you've got a boy with male testosterone, male musculature, male body strength, male, bone structures, male switch response. It's no wonder he's going to beat the women. It is unfair in every possible way. In video from that race, he can be seen sprinting ahead of his competitors, helping Brooklyn to victory in the Massachusetts State Track Coaches Association Northeast Invitational. He was following the rules, as the state's policy explicitly states that all students must be allowed to participate in a manner consistent with their gender identity when there are sex segregated disciplines. Why are they not segregating by sex? Why are they segregating by gender? Why not just change the rules to say it must be segregated by sex? And that way there's no confusion, and inadequate little boys who can't compete against other little boys can then find solace in going to the library or furiously masturbating or whatever it is they can do, rather than sitting and taking places away from girls who may be looking to improve their life chances. This is so wrong. Students who are transgender may participate, according to the rules, in accordance with the gender identity they consistently assert at school. But that is unfair. That is obviously unfair. Interscholastic athletic activities are addressed through the Massachusetts Interscholastic Athletic Association Gender Identity Policy. The policy states, a year ago, before beginning to compete against girls, Barnes had grown a defiant attitude towards any potential outrage at his participation in girls' sports, having told a student newspaper last year that critics should deal with it, just deal with it. Well, I think they should deal with it, and they should deal with it by refusing to race against you. If you turn up at a track meet, every girl needs to just pack her bags up and piss off home. And when you're standing there alone and then the crowd's looking and there's only you, oh, you'll win all the medals and you'll be going, oh, look at me, I'm marvellous, I've won all these medals. But you didn't race against anyone, because nobody is going to race against you. And that's all it takes. Women, you can win this so easily, and it'll only take 2 or 3 attempts. Honestly, 2 or 3 times, just pack your bags up and go. Just do it, and you've won. But I'm not going to go on enough of this. It's happening everywhere. They keep doing this. They keep allowing men to compete against women because inadequate men are desperate for the thing, for the notability, the achievement. But they're not capable of getting it against other men. So they go, I know, I'll become a lady. And there he is standing head, and they see him there, head and shoulders above all those girls. It is wrong. Whoever's allowing this needs to address this. There's Riley Gaines, the swimmer. Whoever is addressing this needs to seriously sort their life out. And she's saying that she's desperately fighting. She's taken this all the way to the High Court, actually, Riley is. And I wish her luck on this, because she wants to push this issue that it must be divisional by sex, not by gender. But it is clearly unfair. Like I say, you wouldn't put a lightweight in the ring with a heavyweight, so why should you put a man in a field of sport against a woman? Anyway, I'm going to finish there and come up. It's only a little one. It was just highlighting, yet again, authority, sort of cancelling women, not allowing women, and removing from them rights and opportunities. Anyway, let's finish and go up. I suspect ultimately, in America certainly, it's going to be going to the High Courts or the Supreme Court. But I think also over here, it will ultimately be a decision for the courts. The courts and government will have to make the decision that a biological male cannot compete against a woman and cannot therefore use his innate athletic superiority to take from women these opportunities for, like I say, for improvement, for scholarships and things like that, or to represent them, at the national level. No one is saying that trans people cannot participate in sport, but they must participate in the sport of the same sex as which they biologically are. And if they want to form their own league, their own trans league, that's absolutely fine. Go ahead and do it. Nobody would have an objection to that. But to have a biological male compete against a woman, I think, unless you are mentally disturbed, you must have, an issue with that. It is blatantly and obviously unfair. Anyway, I shall stop there. Thank you very much for listening. If you like what you see here on the channel, please hit that subscribe button as quick as you can. Ring the bell for notification of future outputs. Leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video, and until next time, stay safe, stay well, stay out of the wrong changing room, and goodbye.